I just thought you, well, yeah, I misunderstood. I thought you said it was
Paved.
paved
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now the gentleman that was interested in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I guess I'm curious as to why you want the property.
Just for the privacy in the back of my yard, you know, nothing special. I thought it was available, just to purchase it, you know.
And you're in lot 18?
18, yeah.
So you have very small frontage on Park?
Yeah, I'm right off of Park Street.
Right.
It's way
So you
up
just
there.
have a driveway up into the main
Right.
section?
And you've been very persistent, too, in inquiring about the property, I understand. You've been asking on a regular
Last
basis.
3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Karen says she's spoken with you a number of times.
She told me it's not buildable, it was a camp at one time and all that.
Yeah.
A lot of wetlands, I know.
Yeah.
61-018.
That's the book and page.
So
Okay.
your property was not part of this covenant that was set up early on Russ
No,
Lane?
Mine's different.
That's totally different.
He's on two maps.
No, I didn't mean your property itself, but you weren't one,
61.
you weren't one of the lots that,
No, no.
people that were paying the taxes
Oh.
on it originally?
No, because that's Rush Lane, I'm
Yeah,
on
right.
Park Street.
Yeah, right, that's, okay.
What do you have, almost 3 acres?
Yeah, almost 3, 2.8.
3, yeah.
23, yeah, I can't see through the line.
Yeah, there's a line through half of it.
These are two different maps. So you see the other portions is 60-42.
That frontage that you
Got
have,
it.
is that
Now it makes sense.
50 feet? Is that how I'm reading
Like
that?
all the lots, the
52 feet, I
requirement
think.
is they all have
2
to be on
feet?
2 maps.
Yeah.
Because whenever we do this, they're all on multiple maps.
And your idea, so I didn't catch your name down?
Nick Nicolopoulos.
Nick. I'll just go with Nick. So I guess your reason for being interested in it is just to make sure that no one else builds something behind you? Or
That's one reason too, you know, and for private, more private, you know, like wooded, if you wanna call it.
do we know what's on the other side, on the Linfield side? Are there houses on that side?
I don't believe there's anything there, or it's back to it might be back of houses that are there. But it's not
This
an
goes
accessible
like
area,
this.
it's not buildable, I believe, I just checked on that.
Anyway, I mean, so if there's property
That's
that,
I think there's some wetlands down in back of those homes too, right? As you go down North Hill Drive, it kind of curves off more northerly this way here, and it drops down,
Exactly.
right,
It drops right off behind my property.
okay.
And the storm drain that comes through actually runs down the North Reading Winfield line, which is right there.
Mhm.
And it goes straight back all the way. There's only one home up on the corner of North Hill Drive that is in Linfield. And that, you can see that house from my property. Other than that, it's straight back all the way wooded and wetland area.
is that right? So North Hill ends shortly in Linfield, is that?
No, it actually goes up through Linfield, and it comes back up on Lowell Street.
Right.
Chestnut Street,
On
Right
Chestnut,
where
comes back
Chestnut
on
Street and-
Chestnut? Okay.
right where Chestnut Street and North Reading ends, turns into Lowell Road.
Yep.
Chestnut Street goes down to the right in Linfield, it's right
Right,
there, just
right,
after the
right at
Lutheran
that.
Church. That's North Hill Drive too.
Old gentleman, what,
Well,
But just, excuse me, Nick, just as far as, so you've been made aware of all the deed restrictions and all the rest?
Yeah, I know
that,
that, yeah.
You know all of that stuff, and you don't have a specific issue with,
Developing,
no developing, other than, you know, it's supposed to be left alone, and,
yeah, I know,
yeah.
Then again, depending on the tax rate and the price too, you know,
Oh, right, sure, sure,
you know how that goes.
yes, yeah,
Yes, we do.
yeah, we do.
Okay.
Well, I guess
and
what-
again, let me just put it to you this way. If this association were to be resurrected in such a format that would, again, assure that they would maintain it for its intended purpose and use, that would provide you with the necessary privacy and No, it's
Yeah.
never gonna be developed or anything else, and someone else could be paying the taxes on it. You wouldn't have a problem with that, would you?
That's even better, that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah.
Smart man.
There you go.
That's what I mean, that's
You know,
what I'd like
so
to
it-
see.
So it would seem to me that, that would help serve your purpose as far as maintaining it in
Right.
perpetuity, as far as, not being developed and all the rest. And again, get it back in the hands of the people that it was originally intended to be. So if you gentlemen could get this organization together and resurrect it, I for one would look favorably upon putting it back in the hands of the original owners, where the deeds are already reference ownership of it and how it's to be maintained. That way they get, my purpose is to get back on the tax rolls, and the original owners, the ones who I'd like to see have it again. And again, look out for Nick's interest here too, as far as what he's looking for is more privacy, maintain, preserve his privacy. So I think that everybody would be satisfied.
Anyway.
So what do you think, the likelihood, and is there any type of time frame you're willing to put on yourselves to try and pull this thing together so that we could effectuate it? Because it's been going on, as you say, it keeps resurrecting itself, every few years. And we do this review of this land, and again, you're looking at 6 acres here, we're going, wow, look at this. Some of it's high and dry, and maybe something can be done.
Four of it's probably wetlands.
and then we also have a lot of people up on Fairbanks Lane here who are direct abutters who, and if you think about it, maybe some deed restrictions, and if they're not drawn up properly, even though those lots are expensive and they're expensive homes, you pick up 6 more acres, you can pick up a few more lots with some access. And everybody likes to be tucked away in the woods, so who knows what the future brings, so, protect your interests and, what do you think?
You were saying that that gentleman who spoke on the first 3 lots that are under consideration, he's gonna come back when? September?
13th. Oh, September 13th, yeah.
I mean, we could survey the 17, owners, see if there's interest in doing what you're throwing out. In the meantime, I'll also provide Mr. Belkonis with all of this information I have, going back to when the original subdivision was created. And then we could come back, I guess, would you like an answer prior to that? I mean, an informal answer that yes, they're interested, or no, they're not interested?
Well, I mean, if you come back as, 15 to the 17, and again, I don't know how you deal with that, but right now, it would appear that there's some sort of an obligation on the part of the homeowners to pay their fair share
Right.
in the deed. So now what you're looking to do is create that entity, or recreate that entity, just for the purposes of collecting what they owe.
I think one question a lot of them might have is whether or not they'd be responsible for, I don't know how long it's been in the town's hands, but, that the taxes haven't been paid for how many years?
It's up to us
I
to
mean, I don't
decide
know.
the sale price.
Would
It's
it
up,
be going forward, or would it be going backward? They would ask us those questions, I
Yeah.
guess.
You're gonna have to buy the property, and we have to decide what that.
what
value
that's
is.
going to be.
Oh, we'd have to
But
buy it back. I
Right,
see.
and we can decide what that is.
Yeah, I see.
So, we'll,
Okay.
I think our intention is to work together and
Yeah,
to move
my
forward.
intention is one, and I think everybody's intention is to get it back in the hands of somebody, so they're paying some taxes on it, and preferably get it back in the hands of the original owners, and for its original intended purpose when the subdivision was laid out.
I know Mike Fitzpatrick, who lives in the
Right.
neighborhood. I don't mind volunteering to be contact for them in the meantime to maybe filter information, if you guys are okay with that, until we meet on the
Yeah.
13th.
I think these gentlemen have come forward, I'd like to see them
Yeah, just have them bring it to us.
contact their neighbors and give us some feedback as to whether or not there's enough.
Yeah, again, there isn't any
Interest in pursuing
specific
it.
timeline, other than we'd like to get it resolved some way or another.
But I
Yeah.
think at our meeting in September
Right.
would be perfect timing. We're gonna be discussing the previous
Main Street.
Main Street lots at that point.
Yeah, just give us
And,
a read as to whether or not it's something that you think you can
I
pull
see
together.
him, Jeff.
Well, and Mr. Prisco, Mike Fitzpatrick would have been here.
Right.
He lives next
He's
to
on
me.
vacation.
He's on vacation, so, I'll speak to him too, and then.
Yeah, well, at the time I've
Send
been on
us
the
an
board,
email.
I think this has come up twice in the time that I've been on the board, and both times we've talked with Mike
Right.
at length about it, and, yeah. so.
Jeffrey?
Yes, you said there was 16,
17.
17, and I count 9 lots on West Lane.
No, it's not Rust, it's also North Hill.
North Hill,
It's also North Hill? Okay, so everybody coming in on North Hill and West Lane?
from the Linfield line out to Park Street.
Right,
On North Hill, everybody is included.
okay.
Now, Mike's on vacation, so why don't we just put this tax bill on him? Just send him the bill, let's move on.
I second it.
So, basically, just, to satisfy, so you're kept in the loop on your interest, on the meeting on the 16th of September. 13th, I'm sorry. If these gentlemen come back, the neighbors come back and say we're not interested in doing this, then we will proceed with,
We'll have a decision to make.
we'll have to make a
We'll
decision
have to make a
associated
decision
whether we
retain it or
retain it or
sell
put
it
it out
with all
for
the
bid or
restrictions.
whatever, with appropriate restrictions after review of the documents.
Now, will you contact me again, or should I come on the 13th?
Come on in on the 13th.
Come on in on the
I'll be
13th.
here. Yeah, we're definitely gonna discuss it on the 13th. All right?
Yes, sir.
One other question in terms of the, field of options here. We may have a discussion with our neighbors and they may say what if, which would be a variation on what we're proposing. Would there be, if there was another option that came out of this discussion, would that be something that the folks around the table would entertain at that time, at least for airing that?
Well, we certainly listened to alternate proposals.
And again, if you want, and again, I don't know what the effect of the deeds have on all of this,
Right.
In other words, whether you, say the what if is, people in Rust Lane have decided to form the association and pay the bill. I don't know that I care, because, let's say it's the association. How you go and collect your money to pay the bill, I don't care, as long as you're paying your bill. If it's gonna be 7 of you instead of 17, then you're just covering the expenses of the other 10. That's between yourselves.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking
Right.
financially, I was thinking some other machination of how this could work. I don't have.
I don't know what it would be, but yeah, okay.
Neither do I.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you had something in mind.
But you would have to look at, each one has their own home deed, right, their deed for their property, and it requires them to do it already.
Well, I think it gives them an interest. Will you provide a copy of your deed to Greg? So that, you may have a perfected interest in this. All 17 have a perfected interest in
Right.
this. So
We
it's,
do have
right.
a deed here,
Yeah.
at least one of the
Okay.
parcels, that does reference the
Yeah, I
recreation
read it,
trust.
and I assume, that's why I was wondering if all of them have it, and, they should be doing it anyway. The way I understood it.
But you're right, but they didn't, so.
Right, I know.
That's why we have it.
why it's here.
And I'm just bringing that for them to go back and, if somebody says, hey, I'm not interested,
Yes.
well, they have to understand their
Chris.
deeds.
So, Heidi was able to find the trust documents.
There's a document she wasn't able to find, but I think we're going to be able to find it. I think it's registered, not recorded land, and I think when she
Right.
sent the
She needs
request.
some more- She needs some more help on that, and
Okay.
it's above and beyond her abilities from here to do that, and going into, you're
Yeah.
not a specialist, you can spend hours looking for these things.
Well, we'll
I think
see.
I went to the Middlesex, what do you call it? The,
Registry of Deeds.
Registry deeds.
Registry of
Yeah.
Deeds, so I have just about everything connected to it.
Do you know whether or not you have the trust document?
I think I do, yeah.
That'd be the document
That's what we're looking
it's a pertinent document, really be helpful. If you have it, great. If not, I can get it.
I think I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
I'll-
could,
I'll get everything. though.
if
I'll
you
send
get
it
those
out.
copies to Greg sooner rather than later,
Okay.
that'll give us some
Yeah.
chance to
And
take a look at
if
it.
you just bring them in here, and if you don't have access to copy, Greg can get them copied.
Okay. I can get it done.
That'd be great.
All right.
All right, so-
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
All of you.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
All right.
They're not with us.
I read yesterday, and I think I knew what the issue was, so if he doesn't have it, I'll get it.
I know we can get it.
Okay,
Somewhere it was recorded.
we'll continue, hopefully briefly, with the town charter review. Michael?
Yeah, great.
We'll get it.
That's all I have received. I provided everybody my recommendations for ideas that we can consider, and Sean had provided me his, and so Jeff, I'm not sure if you had something.
As I kept